Good afternoon, colleagues. In this video, we continue to explore Microsoft Planner and take a look at the rather convenient People view, where we can distribute project tasks among project team members, among our performers. Of course, there is a tool for assigning resources to tasks. This is a grid view, where we describe tasks and projects. Here you can assign resources in the Assign to column, or on the project card. Open the card and assign the resource. But it is, of course, more convenient to do this in front of people. We will examine how tasks are assigned, what tools are available for customizing the appearance, working with filters, and, of course, various groupings. These tools allow us to upload our resources more conveniently and efficiently, evaluate their usage, and see how effectively they are working. So, now let's see how to work with this view. As you can see, I already have an assignment for the grid view. I have already assigned tasks to various specialists. I have a list of unassigned tasks and 3 columns, 3 specialists, where all their tasks are presented. Each specialist's workload, number of tasks in progress, and number of overdue tasks are shown. If we want to add a new specialist, a new member of our project team, we can select any unassigned task. Double-click on the task card to open a window with the task settings. Click on the Assign link, for example, to select from the existing list. In the list that opens, you can select specialists who are already part of the project team, and then the tasks will be added to the specialist's task list. If you need a specialist, we'll add one. To do this, enter the first 3 letters of their name. The system will select which specialists have these letters in their name. For example, I want to choose a programmer. I choose. The system warns me that after this specialist will join the group. In principle, why not? Let him join the project team and work on configuring the server. I have selected this specialist. My project team has expanded by 1 person. Close the task window. And, as you can see, our new project team member already has 1 task assigned. By the way, I can also assign him all the other unassigned tasks. Among other things, I can, for example, transfer some of the tasks from the existing members of my project team. That is, I can assign these reports to the new team member. We are gradually loading our specialist. If I want to remove or delete any tasks, I open the task, open the list, and click on this cross. That's it, the specialist is removed. The task has been moved to the unassigned section. Or I drag the task back to the list of unassigned tasks. Yes, a small addition. I recommend assigning 1 specialist to 1 task. If your task is so large that it requires several specialists to complete, it is better to split it into 2 separate tasks. This will be convenient for planning and optimizing the workload of your resources. Now let's take a look at the appearance settings for this view. If you click on this link to view options, you will see that we have the option to display not only the number of future and overdue tasks, but also the hours. Each resource card displays either the number of hours or the number of tasks. That is, I click on the hours item, and the system shows me that I still have 240 hours to work on this project. I need another 64 hours to complete all overdue tasks. That is, I can evaluate not only by the number of tasks, but also by the hours that I still need to complete. In addition, you can change the appearance of the task cards themselves. In this case, they are displayed in a compact form. We remove the setting here and see that the system has displayed a more complete description of our tasks. We immediately see the full name, dates, priorities, and can even see which tasks are overdue. In addition, we can see the number of tasks we have already completed on the resource cards. That is, we remove this item, and the system displays the number of hours. Well, in this case, we are working with the hours that have already been worked on the project, that is, 64 hours. This is the time I spent on completed tasks. We can see the number of tasks by changing the item numbers again, the task numbers. Here are the tasks completed, and 64 hours spent. It's a pretty handy tool. You can find the format that suits you best, and in order to analyze more quickly and efficiently what we have already done, what still needs to be done, and who should be assigned which tasks. In addition to changing the appearance of the display, you can also use filters. They are also very helpful here. Click on the filters link. A window with a list of filters will open. And here we can see, for example, which tasks are overdue, right? Select tasks from previous periods. The system displays for tasks, 2 of mine and 2 of my colleagues. It shows which tasks are overdue. Today's tasks. It is immediately clear that I have 1 task assigned for today. Tomorrow's tasks. Nothing is assigned. This week's tasks, overdue, and today's, next week's tasks, everyone is involved here, and tasks for future periods. So, this is a pretty handy filter that can be used to analyze past periods, the current period, and future periods. In addition, we can also look at the progress, which tasks have not been started, which tasks are already in progress, and which tasks have been completed. I have them collapsed, we can open them. Here you go, to tasks are completed. And tags, if you use them, and our boxes, if you work with them. Priorities, we can look at low priority, medium priority, and either see which tasks here are important, high priority. And with priorities, too, I think it's very convenient. First of all, it is still worth analyzing the tasks that have high priority and paying more attention to them. In addition, we can look at the critical path tasks, right? That is, those tasks that lie on the critical path. I only have 1 task here. We need to look at the critical path. Why are there so few tasks? Tasks that relate to a specific goal, that is, aimed at achieving certain goals. You see, you can see these tasks right away, here. And besides that, see who is assigned to them. Here we can see it. If you need to analyze only 1 specialist or a group of specialists, select several specialists and analyze them, as well as all the additional filters that we created together when we made our custom fields. For example, tasks of the first type, tasks of the first and second types. Here, please, even the custom fields came in handy here. Filters are a very convenient tool. I recommend using them actively. Colleagues, if you have any questions about using this software product, or if you would like to study certain project management methods and tools in detail, below this video, there is a link to my website, where you can send a request to me or my colleagues. We will organize an individual or group meeting, consultation, or training session. During the training, we will show you how to use this software product for your projects and to solve your tasks. In other words, we will develop your corporate project management system specifically for your goals and tasks. So, the last tool is grouping. With this tool, unlike a filter, we can choose not to hide tasks, but simply combine them. Combine them into specific groups. By default, there is a group by completion date. We can collapse these groups and see how many tasks we have planned in the past, i.e., overdue tasks, how many tasks are being implemented today, and how many tasks are in the future. Of course, all completed tasks are located separately. In addition to grouping by completion date, we can group by buckets. And we can immediately see what task groups we have, for example, tasks for filling in data, creating reports, setting certain parameters. And we can immediately assign tasks to specialists, reassign or assign tasks to a specific group. For example, I know that Natalia is responsible for processes. I can transfer all process tasks to Natalia, which is very convenient. Next, we can see during the execution process which tasks are only at the planning stage and have not yet been implemented, which tasks have already been completed, and as soon as we set the percentage of completion, for example, here we have 50% completion, a new group is automatically created in the process, and we can see which of the tasks is already being implemented. In addition, there is a grouping by icons. Yes, this is a very interesting grouping. You can assign a specific label to a task indicating, for example, that this task has a high risk or requires certain resources. The system then allows us to group tasks with labels separately. For example, This task has a high risk and requires certain resources, such as server equipment or the purchase of certain materials. For example, to accomplish these tasks, we need to purchase additional equipment or materials. It's a pretty handy tool. In addition, there is grouping by priority. All the tasks that you consider important are marked in the tasks themselves here in the priority field, and very important, medium, and low priority. After that, we can group high priority tasks and, for example, see how many high priority tasks each team member is implementing. And the last grouping is goals. With the help of this group, we can see the tasks and goals that each specialist is working to achieve. That is, I do not rule out that, for example, you have a cost specialist, and you assign all tasks related to cost control to this specialist. Or a resource specialist. And we see that we have a task related to resources, and we assign these tasks to the resource specialist, which is very, very convenient. I think you will find a use for all of these groups, as well as the tools available within Microsoft Planner for more effective project management. That's all. Good luck with your projects.